This is the video that we're doing right now, 01.01, which is the introduction. And then we're going to jump right in and learn all the different kind of R variables. So there's different data types and variables within R, and a lot of them would be pretty easy to follow and pretty common to any programming language, but there might be some that are specific, only can be used in R, that you'll learn about as well. From there, we'll try to jump into kind of input and output. This is where you can kind of grow your abilities to kind of jump right in. If you're curious and you want to play around using R, you have to learn how to input a good data set, and it also could be helpful to learn how to output one too. So you can read one in from various text files or CSV files, or technically you can connect to database systems, and there's a number of ways to get the data into R. And then of course, similarly, any way that you can connect to pull the data in, you could essentially do the same thing and push it out, even through a database, creating tables, you name it, text files, CSV files, all that sort of thing. So that's kind of the input and output. If we want to look into some kind of conditional or some control flow of data, I will talk through some looping and some if statements. This is something that if maybe you're familiar more with using Excel with various things. There's nested if statements with an L. With an R. With an Excel is what I was trying to say. Nested if statements that can get a little convoluted. I guess similarly in R they can be somewhat similar. You try to keep them organized, but then building out some various loops, while loops, do while loops, that sort of thing. And so we'll kind of walk through that. R is a vector-based language, as I mentioned, so I think it'd be good to just kind of talk through what that means and how vectors can be powerful. So we'll cover that kind of in chapter 5. Similarly, we'll walk through functions, and this will probably be a decently sized video, just because functions are so powerful. If you're ever going to want to be a good R programmer, pretty much I would say functions are essential, because as you're going along, any sort of data manipulation you want to do, it's going to be so much faster if you can create a quick function on the fly, and then maybe apply that function to various data within your data set. And I would attribute a function to think of it like anytime you're doing a job, a specific job. What do you want this job to be? You give it a name, you write a function, and then let R handle that small job. And you can write multiple functions to do multiple jobs. And that's going to be a fun one. That's going to be a good one. I mentioned earlier that R has a great open source community that builds different packages. And so I definitely want to cover some of my favorite packages that I've used over the years, and some really popular and powerful ones that we can talk through what their advantages are, what they can provide. But if you only used base R, which is what it comes with when you download it, to do your analysis, you'd be totally missing out. The packages are what keeps the lifeblood of R kind of growing and evolving and becoming better and better, is all the great work of so many wonderful developers that give back to the community and create these wonderful packages that folks can use. And these things, they come out, updates and new ones are coming out daily. There's thousands of them. It's beautiful. And then of course at that point, I think it'd be a good time. It'd be almost halfway through that we'll walk through what it's like to just kind of solve a business problem with R. I think that could be really handy to take some of the skills and just say, if we were in the business world and we had some sort of a problem that I'll construct, how can we use R to solve this problem, or bring decisions or just intelligence to the situation. From there, let's probably dive into some matrices. That's another data type within R that can be very helpful in how the data is stored and what you can do with it. So we'll spend a little bit of time talking through that. And then data frames, which is probably the most common data type within R. You can think of it like a table, and so I think that'd be really good to go through. And it's just another one that's just essential to kind of learn and get really good at. Is building out data frames. Now list is a data type within R that's pretty unique, but